Merlins also have some damps in them, though they are doing a fair amount of tackling.
Yeah, I mean, that carry is now getting neutered out. Looks like one of the Navy Ravens is now webbed. Saying Navy Raven is very difficult. Looks like the Maulus is taking damage, but, the reps are landing fine. I mean, there's, just kind of... The Surely Joking guys are kind of holding on, but it's only a matter of time before Tri reapply DPS somewhere and they go down.
Yeah, Tri is just rolling over right here. Like, they're very comfortable. There's almost no chance that they could lose this one, and that means Surely You're Joking gets eliminated, and Tri stay in the losers bracket. So the losers bracket is filled with Agony, Tri, Shadow Cartel, and who else is really good? Well, those are like some of the top tier teams that people were expecting to make huge waves in the Alliance tournament. So
Yeah.
this next set of matches that we have coming up are all winners bracket, and the loser of the matches falls into this like crazy hell of a losers bracket, which you do not want to go into.
I mean, I think this is kind of a result of that first round of the tournament. We had Hydra play Tri, and Hydra are tournament real royalty. They are, with Pandemic Legion, the two biggest of big names. Tri are a very, very accomplished, very, very good AT team. Them getting knocked into the losers bracket early just means that they have to play a ton of matches.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, anyone who gets knocked in the losers bracket think, oh, thank goodness, I had a really hard match, it's okay, we'll come through the losers bracket, and then you knock into Tri. Like, you must be cradling your head in your hands at that point.
Yeah, that is definitely not something you want to see. And let's see, just mop-up work now. This Navy Ravens dying of Lazran. The other Navy Ravens are actually sitting on the beacon at 0, so they're not even trying to move. I was hoping that maybe they would try to micro jump and do some really cool shenanigans, but no shenanigans here. They're just shooting things.
So at least
it actually looks like they're shooting one another right now. Surely You're Joking Navy Ravens are actually shooting each other.
Wow.
This is pretty fantastic.
But at least, we've got this triple Navy Raven theme. Do you think that with the correct support, this is a comp that could be really strong, or do you think it's kind of inherently flawed?
I don't want to say it's awful because that's just mean, but it is a little awful. It's really incredibly weak to damps. That's the issue it has here, and it's undermanned. So like combining those two things is not very good.
One of the things we do see in typically in Tinker setups, you have like this one kind of destroyer or like this frig that's its entire job is to remote SIBO or remote ECCM. Do you think that's something that could help a Navy Raven team, or do you think it's kind of a wasted chip?
I mean, it would have helped them here. I don't know if it would have worked very well. Like I'm just not sure I see the same synergy that they saw with this thing. I mean, obviously they wanted the Vigil to target paint for the Navy Ravens and the carriers to sort of win the damp war for them. But
yeah.
The carriers can't really win the damp war against Molluses, so if you want that, maybe you ban Mollus or something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, Surely You're Joking, eliminated. They get some cool Rattlesnake BPCs for getting this far. But Tri advance, well, I guess they will advance in a second here. And continue on just making plays, hopefully not getting headshot anymore.
That's that match, and I believe the end of the losers bracket for today.
Yeah.
We are about to go into the winners bracket, so hand it back to you guys on the analysis desk.
Now, welcome back to the awesome set of Alliance Tournament 12, Day 5, Studio Day 1. We've got Potney and Elise Randolph out of the hot commentator booth, and with us is CCP Rise, the actual one this time. I'm done with making mistakes for the day. That was the last loser bracket. Damn it, as I say that, I fall over my own tongue. Trip, stop it. This was the last elimination bracket match of the day, with Surely You're Joking going home, probably yelling their own names the entire way. What did you guys think?
Well, we covered it quite a bit, but I don't know. I just don't think the setup they brought was designed to beat anything against the headstrong dams. I mean, they brought the one Karis, but that's really not good enough. If you really get so crippled by the Dampor, you want more than one Karis to save you from it.
I still feel that 3 Navy Ravens will win the beauty contest.
They were very pretty, but unfortunately they weren't able to shoot anything or do anything. Actually, that's not true. They did shoot each other pretty well.
I was trying to think during this, is there any other core setup or team cores that are being used a lot that don't have resist bonuses?
We see
Typhoons, I think.
well, those used ones. We
being
see
used a
the
lot.
Geddon was used
We've
as
seen
a
a
core
couple
pretty
from
well.
teams.
Geddons are maybe the most common. There have been some Typhoons, but they haven't won
And we did see the
anything, right?
Donnies in the losers bracket last weekend. They're
Yeah.
pretty popular, but yeah, I don't.
And
think
dummies
so.
would probably still be extremely popular if it wasn't for the point
Yeah.
increase. But I was just thinking that's one of the big differences between a lot of the other cores. is that
Yeah,
they're
last
just-
year we saw
Yeah.
teams similar to that Navy Raven team, but taking Navy Scorps instead. And then what
Right.
they ended up doing is trying to mini tinker it around so they'd have like cap transfers between one another. Make use of that huge tank they get.
I was thinking if you really were really set on using Navy Ravens, you might have to like win a Dampor so that you didn't actually have to take much damage at all, because
Yeah.
that's kind of, they have a lot of HP, but they're, like I said, like they're one of the few ships that doesn't capitalize on logistics very well, and because of not having resist. So I don't know. It'd be cool if they could find a way to win, because they are cute,
Very.
That's true.
like someone else I know.
Like father, like son.
You are the official mascot of Alliance Tournament 12.
I am.
You are now.
You getting on better?
The next match in Day 5 will be the first match of the round in winners bracket.
Yeah.
This is great. Undefeated bracket, it's called. That's Exodus Dot versus Pasta Syndicate. Exodus banned out the Eos and the Ishtar, while Pasta banned out the Geddon and the Rattlesnake.
All right, so we see Helas go through again. We've seen like Helas not be banned, but then people not take them. Obviously, the last match we saw them. But there was like a stretch of 4 or 5 matches where no Helas were banned and no one took them. Like they were just trying to fake each other out to take a Hela.
That does seem pretty strange.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. But Pasta Syndicate are like fan favorites, I guess you'd call them.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to love Pasta. I kind of like Pasta. They're cool dudes.
I'm excited to see what the winner side is gonna do. We've seen kind of the reaction to we've seen the losers now play, knowing what happened last weekend, adjust their setups over the course of the week, and then seeing where kind of their meta ends up. I'm curious what the winners will look like. If we'll see them bringing any Tinkers, if we see them bringing tons of Helas still, or what.
I think I really like Pasta in that their approach to the game on TQ is that they have this thing that they love doing, and they just do it relentlessly. Like, they haven't kind of fallen into the trap of, oh, we're powerful now, let's go take Sov, or oh, we're powerful now, let's go take a ton of moons and have to defend them every day. They just know what they like and they do a bunch of it. And I think that is just really good for the health of the Alliance. And then on the other hand, we have Exodus, who are kind of renowned for their kind of small gang brilliance. I mean, for years, like if you run into a small gang Exodus group, like you run away, frankly, because even if you've got twice their numbers, they'll probably still kill you.
Yeah. And Exodus are actually an incredible tournament team. They kind of surprised people last year. They were very good in Neo 1, which is kind of gave them momentum into Alliance Tournament 12, where they were very, very good. They took some amazing setups. They just barely lost to PL in the semifinals of Alliance Tournament 12.
You mean 11?
11, yeah, that's the one, sorry. We're in 12 now.
That's right.
I don't have any future intel, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. I do think, though, that the winners bracket people will have a greater incentive in not revealing anything new. I think we'll see them bring the same setups, more or less.
Yeah, that's a really risky thing to do, unfortunately, because if you get stuck into the loser's bracket, you have to go through Shadow Cartel, Agony.
And you have
Try.
to play a lot more matches as well.
Yeah.
That comfort zone you only get that comfort once, and then
Yeah.
even when you do get it, you suddenly have to play twice or maybe even 3 times as many matches if you get knocked out early. Like nobody wants to go into the losers bracket. There's very little that's worth allowing that to happen.
Right.
Well, the match is ready, so we can get on with it. What are your guys' predictions?
Got to go with Exodus, to be honest. Like, they did so well last year. They've got such a good reputation on TQ. And as much as I love Pasta, I just think that Exodus are just too good.
Yeah, I think Exodus are going to win this one out. Pasta's been very surprising in the tournament so far, but I don't think really good quality skill can be beat by just constantly being surprised. Exodus won't be shocked by anything.
I'm going with Exodus too. Zara never lets me down.
I think I'm going with Exodus too. And let's just see what they do.
Welcome back, everyone, to this next match in the 12th Alliance tournament. This is CCP Fozzie, joined by Bacchanalian and Exodus and Pasta Syndicate heard that no one had banned healers, so they put some healers in their healers so they could heal about the healer. There are 6 healers on the field, and both very similar supporting setups as well, actually. The Exodus team has brought Claymore, Scimitar, Orthrus, mandatory triple healer, double Worm, Hawk, double Mollis, and Crow.
And we're looking at Pasta Syndicate here with double Sleipnir Scimitar, triple Larry, triple Heretic, triple Merlin. So it's interesting. I think they brought, in form of raw DPS, a higher DPS setup than Exodus did. But I trust Exodus to have a pretty good setup. They're usually a very solid team.
Yep. A lot of this is going to come down to piloting. We've seen in these heal and mirror matches often how well you can outrun the drones from the other team comes down to who wins. Having 2 command ships for Pasta Syndicate is hopefully going to help with that because it means more links. But the match has now begun. Both teams did come in at long range and from pretty far away beacons too, so they are a good almost 100 kilometers away from each other. And we're going to see them jockey for position as they get the match started.
Yep, we can see drones crossing the field, and a Mollis of Gasset is already taking quite a bit of damage. His shields just reappeared, but he is in low armor, so it looks like they probably volleyed the shields before the Scimitar could lock. And here we go, more armor damage. So they are volleying his shield straight off and back on. I wonder if those Sleipnirs have already gotten hold of him.
The Sleipnirs have been able to reach out and touch them because they are artillery Sleipnirs. So this is a setup that is taking advantage of some of the same artillery alpha strengths that the Hydra setup has, although with only 2 Sleipnirs, which actually is probably why that Mollis is still alive.
Right, you don't quite get the alpha to just completely volley the frigate right off the field. We see the Scimitar for Pasta Syndicate of CapQ taking a little bit of damage. He's about half shields. I haven't seen a huge ASB boost out of him yet, but I'm sure he should be doing that soon. We have the damp coverage isn't quite what I would expect from Pasta. I mean, they have some damps there on the Orthrus and the 2 Mollis. Why would they do the Orthrus? What do you think?
I mean, getting the Orthrus' missiles off the field would be great. If the Orthrus especially was heavy missile fit and was at extreme long ranges, it might be a great way to take his DPS off the field. He is rapid light missile fit though, so he's probably going to be in a bit closer.
Okay, well that CapQ Scimitar is almost stripped entirely of his shields now. He's going into armor. That Mollis finally did get volleyed off the field after taking one more volley that cleared his structure. And the second, sorry, that was Diablo del Rojo. It's a different Mollis. So they're in danger of losing both Mollises on the Exodus side here. But figured 2 Molluses trade for a Scimitar is a good trade, and here we go into structure now for CapQ.
CapQ kept himself alive for a very long time there as he was being chased by all those Helodrones. He is down now, but again, he was doing what you need to do against these Helodrones. He overheated his micro warp drive and got range on them and made them chase him.
And both Molluses now down. The Crow of Mr. Falcon lost his shields as well. Looks like he, I believe, has a tackle on the Larry of Ben Lee. And Heretic for Killer, a whole bunch of numbers, has lost his shields as well, so he's going to start going down here shortly. We have Sabotage starting to take damage on the Exodus side. So, but really, Pasta Syndicate's picking off support, and Exodus seems to be going for the juggler. They're going right in deep.
Yeah, that web on Ben Lee is definitely huge. It means that they're going to be able to apply the damage a lot more easily. They won't be able to use that trick of getting the speed on the drones, but it's taken a while for the drones to arrive on target. He's taking damage now, and the drone swarm has definitely caught up to him, but it was taking a while there. As
and
we see.
A worm down on the Exodus side now, so another support ship taken out for Pasta Syndicate. You know, they still have a chance, but Ben Lee now losing his shields almost entirely. He's about to go into armor here if something doesn't happen soon, and with no Scimitar in the field, that's really not going to change.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time now with all those drones on top of him in the web. That worm that died was a boundary violation. So there are some unforced errors here from Exodus. They need to make sure that they avoid more of those because they do have the huge advantage here. Scimitar and Gila down, you're in a great shape as long as they can keep their Scimitar up and manage to avoid other boundary violations.
Well, that's always the trick. And beating yourself sometimes is the bigger danger.
And already a web on the next Gila. Great work by the Exodus tacklers. They're getting the webs on the targets very quickly and allowing that damage to then apply to them. Web cleared off. It looks like they're going to be...
and he is picking back up to speed. He's already
Yep.
up over 1,000. Yep. So maybe he's going to get away a little bit here.
Yeah, if Pasta Syndicate can take down the Crow and Hawk, the 2 remaining tackle, and the Worm, the 3 remaining tackle frigates for Exodus, it's going to make these healers' lives a lot easier. That being said, their Steel Castles is once again webbed, and he is taking a ton of damage quickly now as the drones have caught up with him.
That Heretic is in a sliver of structure going 3,300 meters per second. Whoa, he's like 1% structure or something
I think it's only a
ridiculous.
matter of time. He's taking the missile damage, but there he goes. But again, every moment you can keep yourself alive is another moment that DPS isn't applied to the next
one more
target.
volley or 2 more volleys or whatever it may be. Meanwhile, Steel Castle is just clinging to a tiny little bit of shields here, but there he goes into armor now, and I really think Exodus have a firm grip on this match now. They really are going to have to make some mistakes to lose this, although their Scimitar is now through shields. He's ace being back, but he has taken a little bit of armor damage, so maybe these the Sleipnirs have just finally gotten a position to apply some damage too little too late, I think.
Yeah, the Sleipnirs weren't actually doing a ton of damage this whole fight. They looked like they were having trouble tracking the small targets. They were trying to pick off frigates, and unlike the Hydra team, which was kind of spread out their Scimitar or their Sleipnirs a lot more, had the 3 of them for Alpha, the guys from Pasta just aren't able to apply their damage as consistently.
There goes that Scimitar, but again, I think Exodus are in the superior position here. They have the 3rd damage cruiser there for the Pasta Syndicate going down, leaving just the Sleipnirs once this does explode. He is into armor, so it's a matter of a few moments here as armor is now gone. He's into structure, low structure, and about to explode. Meanwhile, web on Adriana Valerin's Sleipnir, so that's also spells some danger. You have quite a bit of damage still coming from the Exodus side.
Continued great work by the frigates for Exodus. You're seeing as the primary dies, there's a web landing on the secondary right away. They're timing it perfectly. They're getting those webs on that's going to prevent them from outrunning the drones. And now that there's the frigs that are causing all the problem for these Sleipnirs, artillery Sleipnirs just aren't going to be able to clear the frigs off unless they spread apart, which actually is something they haven't done. These Sleipnirs are very close to each other.
And that's
so it's pretty hard to make sure that you keep low transversal on the frigates.
That's a great way for Sleipnir's autocannon or artillery to pick off small support. You split apart. They can only really come after one or the other, or even if they split, you have a frigate that'll be at 40, 50 kilometers at much lower transversal than it would be if it's right on top of you. You get close in a frigate to a Sleipnir like this and just orbit, and
So they were able to kill off the Crow, the Heretic there applying a lot of the damage, and the Sleipnirs are pulling apart. So that's going to really help against these frigates. They've got a target painter applied to the next Hawk, but it's too late. Yeah,
way too late. I mean, the Sleipnir's in destruction now. Adriana is going to go down, and that will be all she wrote. The Heretic goes along with it, so just one Sleipnir left on the Pasta Syndicate side. It's just a matter of cleanup here, and Exodus will have managed to clear this field entirely. Not without losing some ships, but really that's not going to matter to them. They got through this match, and that's what's important.
Yep. This is a really good showing for Exodus. They were able to bring a mirror match and just outpilot their opponents, especially with those frigs. There was excellent piloting to get the tackles on, while their damage was applying. If you go back to Squeebles' first rule, make sure your damage is applying, and Pasta's damage was not applying.
Oh, it looks like like the Slipner got a good volley on that Orthrus right there before going down, so a little bit of moral victory for him. But that was it for the match. Exodus with a solid win over Pasta Syndicate. They will stay in the winner's bracket, and Pasta will drop down to the loser's bracket.
Yep, and we will now send you back to the desk for some more analysis.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
I mean, my heart's beating, my hands are shaking, but I'm still shooting, and I'm still getting the headshots. It's like, boom, headshot, boom, headshot. I'm still getting the shots. It's like, boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot. I'm still.
Welcome back to the hosting desk of Alliance Tournament 12. I'm CCP Gargant, joined here by Apothny, Elise Randolph, and CCP Rise. That was a fairly convincing victory of a first winners bracket match of the day.
I feel bad that Capku lost. He's one of the most helpful posters in my balance threads, but I'm sure it at least was a little relieving that it was by rapid light missiles from the Orthrus, because he's a big fan of those, I know. So some solace, I hope. But a good match overall.
It's a really interesting match. On the outside, it kind of looked like the setups were very similar, but Pasta went with an Artie Slep thing, trying to imitate sort of a Hydra tactic, trying to volley the Molluses off. Didn't work quite as much, and Exodus just took a similar core that they flew last time. They had the Worms instead for good tackle. They had that Orthrus. Exodus loves the Orthrus, so I love Exodus for that. And they did really well. They executed well, apart from the one Worm that kind of zonked himself out, but maybe it was just a little bored. I mean, sometimes these things happen. Sometimes you just gotta flirt with the edge of glory and see what happens.
You're an expert in that.
Yes, I am.
I think that's one of those matches where these teams we have these archetypes kind of set. We kind of know what we're seeing commonly through the tournament now. And it really differentiates the super top teams from kind of the mid-tier or the lower-tier teams, where the top teams can just pick apart that setup so beautifully. Whereas the middling tiers may be able to do it to someone else, but when you come up to someone like Exodus, they know everything about your setup as soon as they see it. They know exactly what they need to do, and if you're not on that same level as them, you're going to be destroyed.
Yeah, that's sort of where we are now at this stage in the tournament. We're mainly seeing the brilliant teams advance, while the good teams may have to take 3 or 4 more steps to catch up to them.
Yeah. I was thinking during that match, the Pasta decided to shoot at the Molluses first, at least for a while. And I was thinking, have there been any matches today you guys can remember where someone shot at Frigs to begin with, and that made a really big difference? I feel like there's been several, at least a couple matches now, where someone was wasting time shooting at Frigs and the other team was killing something big. And
I think there was a team where somebody brought Inquisitors and the other team tried to shoot at them, and it took them forever to kill those Inquisitors because they had poor tracking. I think it was Ishtars with sentries versus them. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think it was bad target calling on Pasta's side. Like, they have the volley. They could really specialize at killing the Frigs.
Yeah.
And the Sleipnirs really need the range.
Okay.
So they really wanted those Molluses off. And I think, I don't know, maybe if they overloaded a little bit or got a little bit luckier, or if the Mollus pilots were flying a little bit worse, maybe it would have helped them out a little bit.
Okay.
But I think it was just the setup that Pasta took isn't really meant to come up against the one that they came up with.
But they get another chance. They're fighting tomorrow in the elimination bracket then.
Yep.
And maybe they'll take that advice to heart. Hopefully. I don't want to see them go home in a ball of flame.
I'm curious. I want to see Gilas lose to something that's not Gilas. Like this match, we were talking about, Gilas are open. It's weird for teams to not take them. And then here with 2 good teams, they of course both do. And it ends up just being the variations between the 2 compositions, but Gilas at the core both. And I wonder.
I think we've seen Gilas lose, I want to say, to Rattlesnake comps before, just during the whole tournament. You've got the cruise missiles. If you get TP, you get some good tackle, good web, you're going to apply beautifully with Gilas. So even with their tank, you know, they're still cruisers. They're still going to die. They don't have a massive amount of EHP.
So is that what you guys think the week 3 meta is going to be? You think like the good teams are going to take these Helicores and then just surround it with whatever, Sleipnirs, Claymores, Nighthawk we saw?
I think so. I think that the winners are still, they have something that they're comfortable with and will run that with slight variations rather than...
Until it breaks.
Yeah, until it breaks, pretty much. While the losers bracket teams were maybe a little bit out of their element bringing them, I don't know.
So will we see EOSs? Like that was a common like week 1, week 2 thing, was like EOSs and Navy Vexers. We saw a few teams in the elimination bracket field those things. Do you think now that we're in the winners bracket, people will field those, or do you think those are like...
I think EOS are really point heavy. Like if you compare the EOS to the Gila, they're both very high damage drone boats. They both have great tank, obviously EOS a bit better, but the EOS costs, you know, a good couple more points. So with Gilas, you can add in more command ships, you can add in more support. You get to apply that drone DPS, and even the medium drone bonus Gilas will inherently apply DPS better, even if it's a bit lower, because heavy drones are so incredibly slow.
But your question is pretty good because it relates directly into the bans that we have for the next match, which is the Tuskers Co. Dot versus Feint Disorder. And the Tuskers banned out the Sleipnir and the Ishtar, while Feint Disorder banned out the Armageddon and the Rattlesnake. So the EOS is open and the Gila is open.
If you remove the teams that I kind of have to back, because I'm in Waffles, so if you kind of remove Waffles and PL, like Tuskers, and probably SSC as well, are kind of my 2 favorite teams. I know a bunch of pilots in them. I think they're both very competent teams that have a good shot at doing very well in this tournament. So I'm really interested to see what the Tuskers bring, and I think they've got a great matchup in Feint Disorder, who are really going to push them to, you know, show us what they've got.
So did Tuskers ban the Sleipnir?
Yep.
All right. So they kind of want to avoid the Gila Sleipnir core that we saw, but maybe they want to bring something like a Nighthawk Gila core. Like I could see that working for them, or maybe they just want to say, you guys probably won't take a Claymore. I really hate that setup. Please don't bring it. I'm just going to ban one of the ships, but I need the Gila for something else.
They might be running Frigg Heavy and be scared of, you know, that RT Slep kind of meta we've been seeing, you know, people kind of going, Hydra did a really cool thing, let's do that too.
I guess. I would be very wary of flying a Hydra setup without practicing it for very much. They are high finesse teams, so just think you can pick it up is very dangerous.
My prediction for this match is the Tuskers. I think they'll take it. Feint Disorder have done nothing to impress me for the last 2 weekends.
Bold statements.
I know. I'm a bold man.
You are. Well, you've got a little bit of ginger, but otherwise you're good.
Only a ginger can call another ginger, a potney.
Yes,
No.
well, I'm kind of sat between the two. I feel it's kind of encroaching on me.
Totally not ginger. I'm not even close to ginger. I'm not even ginger adjacent, but it's okay. Who do you pick, Tuskers or Feint?
Who do you pick?
I'm going to go with Tuskers. Like I said before, I know I really like the guys. They've got a great attitude to the game, Tuskers.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Tuskers too. But not because I think Feint Disorder are bad or unimpressive.
Yeah, I mean, my pick is Tuskers as well.
I am not impressed indeed. With that, the match is ready, so let's just go straight into the thick of it and see if Feint Disorder can indeed impress me.
War target has engaged bait. Jump, jump. Target has been broadcast. Kill the pod. Red versus blue, shooting people in the face all day, but best friends after.